Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another Last Epoch dev stream. As usual, I'm your host, Mike. Hello. How's it going, everybody? All right. Oh, feels good to be back. We are on our last day of dev streams pre-season 2. So this is it's our last usual dev stream. We're gonna do the 2 more podcast events, which are arguably better, or arguably much better. But yeah, you got me for one more week here on dev stream day. Glad to be back here. We got some good questions for me. If this is your first time here, welcome. Glad to have you with us. We stream for charity. Boom, right above my head. All of it goes there. And if you have a question, please feel free to ask in chat. Put at Last Epoch Game, and Kane will be pulling questions for me. I'll be answering them. Thanks, Kane. Appreciate you. What other housekeeping stuff do we have? Patch day is April 17th. We've got two more podcast streams coming up next Friday and the Friday after that, with Talkative Try on the first one, and then Aaron and Frosty on the second one. Those are gonna be awesome. Really looking forward to those. What other housekeeping stuff do we have? I don't know what else we got going on. I'm sure more will come up. All right, first question. Also, welcome everyone that's on watching on YouTube as well, because we are streaming in 2 places at once now, and we do take questions from both. So yes, don't worry, questions from both. Will we ever get a co-op dev stream with the EHG team? I feel like we've done this once or twice. Question mark? 2 or 3 times maybe. No, it's a couple. I'm definitely down for it. We've been planning on trying to incorporate more people into the dev stream process in general. And once the ooh, what do we get? Oh, cool. Once the podcast sessions are done for the stream, I think like maybe a few early streams in the season, I'd like to get some guests on. Yeah, we'll do some co-op stuff there, some devs, you know. There's lots of people that I'd love to have on, get some fresh perspectives on things. Different like art disciplines, just other people who work on design stuff or coding stuff, or all sorts of people that would love to come on. So we want to get more of those on for sure. Mike, real talk. I haven't seen these streams in quite some months. Did you lose a lot of weight? You look sharp. Thank you very much. I did lose a lot of weight. I lost 1/3 of my body weight. In almost exactly a year now. I started on April 1st last year. All right. Controller, thanks. Yeah, we are updating controller work. Oh, Medic, you know what's going on with the controller. Thanks for putting the names there, Kane. That's why it's useful. Yes, controller updates are coming for season 2. If you haven't played with controller recently, there's a ton of cool stuff happening with that. Context and specialization specific targeting functions for each skill that works so much better than before. Even just as simple as just normal fireball, being able to kite with it. So nice. Like just opening the game at the very start on a new character and being able to orb walk is surprisingly something I didn't think was as big a deal as it is. Oh, man, the whole set. Give me that set. We're picking up sets now. All right. Do you consider a hot dog a sandwich? Please elaborate your answer. I'm gonna say no. However, I'm gonna say that a sandwich requires. So if you look at the like each side of an object of having starch or not in it, a sandwich has starch on the top and bottom, but a hot dog has starch on 3 sides. Or like this, 3 sides. So it's 3 sides instead of 2 sides. So it's a different class of food delivery. It's more like a taco, really. I think there's a podcast called Hot Dog is a Sandwich, isn't there? feel like some car trip I was on once had someone playing it. I don't know. It's a weird memory there. All right. Does that mean no dev stream next Friday? Is that just because PoE will be there? Be an interview that day. Ah, right. I skipped a week, didn't I? We will decide what to do next week. I think because next week is launch day for them. Yeah, next week is launch day for them. I'll double check and get back to you. I think it's reasonable not to do a stream on PoE launch day. I have fallen. You know what that means, right? It is an early spoiler. As penance for my death. Here we are. Here is a node for the new reworked Sigils of Hope, which is now Symbols of Hope skill tree, and yeah, it's a little bit in there. Shove that to the bottom corner and keep moving, because we're not done yet. You're a level 90 timeline. I'm level 76. All right, cool. But we're punching up a little bit. All right. Any thoughts on Torchlight Infinite doing their release on April 17th too? April is crowded. It is very unfortunate, and you know, moving again is just craziness. So I think I'm not in charge of this in any way, but unless I hear otherwise, we're sticking to the guns on it. Thank you very much. We've got a sub from a whole bunch of subs. That's 5 gifted subs. Oh wow! Oh my goodness! What the? I don't even know if we have a notification for this, but that's new. Endotoxin. Thank you very much for the tip. That's just a straight $100. That's amazing. Wow. Thank you. And Jarzul, also thanks for the 5 gifted subs, and Heavy for the 47-month resub. Woo! Oh, you got your creator unique in the key art. That's pretty sweet. All the dimensions, all the donations do go to charity for YouTube as well. So like everything goes to charity. The charity above my head. We change it up sometimes. We've been on Child's Play for a little bit. We've come and gone back and forth. So we really like this one. But yes, all of everything does go to charity. So thank you very much. We do appreciate that, and they do appreciate it too. That's wild. I don't think we've ever had a just a straight $100 before. That's cool. That's very cool. I hope you're enjoying the game, or at least listening to me talk about it. Come back here. Yeah, push you back towards me. And away again. Ooh. Pebbles. Okay, this is one. This is an item set that I think is going to be surprisingly. The 3 set bonus on this is quite strong. And I'm really excited to see if anyone can do something with the set bonus on this with the new set crafting system. And Spike, that's 23 months, almost at 2 years. Very nice. Thank you very much. I love saying your name out loud. I recently watched the show that I think I'm like one of 4 people that liked it again. The live action Cowboy Bebop. And the name always reminds me of that. It did cause me to go back and watch the anime, which is cool. Or cartoon, I don't know the definition differences. Anyways, moving on before I make a bigger fool of myself. And some bits. Oh, and there's notifications coming through. Oh, we gotta turn those off. Okay, we're just gonna live with it. Moving on. And Adrian Tempish. Thanks for the bits, buddy. Appreciate you. Wondrous. All right. Has the team figured out what day they hope to get the patch notes out by? We have not unveiled the patch notes day yet. I would assume that the marketing team has a very good handle on what day that's going to be. That sort of thing's planned out pretty far in advance usually. And it had to get adjusted for shifting the release date. But yeah, I think that's a pretty. I think that's set. I don't know what day it is or who it is or what or any of those things. Get back here, you loot lizard. Woo. Ooh. Lots of candy. Little ones. More questions. Mike's got to answer the questions. Stop playing your game. Will ailment damage ever be affected by base damage ratio? The added damage scaling ratio. So each ability, in case anyone doesn't know, each ability has a scaling ratio that added damage applies to it. So you get something like this, and it's like plus 90 melee damage. That 90 melee damage applies differently to swipe than it would to, say, Serpent Strike or Upheaval or Tempest Strike, and they all do differently. All aboard. I found it. Yeah. that's like hype train rolling. Oh, DJ, thank you very much. That's big. We're going. We're rolling. No room. Thank you very much, everybody. That's 5 gifted subs. Woo. We're cruising. Just dumping everything. This is before I started organizing my stash. Like a heathen, everything just gets dumped. I can't bear to drop it on the ground. Alright, will ailment damage ever be affected by the base damage ratio of a skill? Big hitting skills are almost impossible to make into ailment builds, and it would be really cool to actually have those builds in the game. I don't have a specific yes/no on this. We're not making a change to this for season 2. It's something that we've discussed a few times. Medic resub! Thank you very much. Appreciate you. That's 3 months in a row. Right there. Also, congrats to everyone who got one of the gifted ones, too. But yeah, whether or not this changes in the future, I don't know. It won't change in season 2. I can tell you that much. All right, what's the first build you're planning on running in season 2? I'm going Heartseeker to start. It's what I've been playing the most in testing, and oh my goodness, this is insane. It just keeps coming in the best way possible. Jarzul with more, even more. That's 5. Oh, is this a ploy to distract me so that I die? It's brilliant because it's going to work. All right, Mike, focus up. RuneScape? I never played RuneScape. Never got into it. I think I was playing Age of Empires at the time. Yeah, I just never got hooked on it. All right. Hi, Mike. How are you doing? I'm doing good, thanks. I'm actually having a really good day today. We had a design meeting this morning that went great. I'm pumped on the stuff I saw. It's gonna be awesome. Just, you know, we got through another lock for the patch. It's the build's stable right now. I'm feeling really good. Having a great day. Anyway, to the real question: will there be improvements on Merchant Guild UI? For example, right now you can't search for a triple exalt. You have to search for exalts and then scroll hundreds of pages. Likewise, will there be COF UI improvements? Sometimes it's hard figuring out where I want to go next because the prophecies can't be sorted nor can we easily see what we have to do, either the panel or the echo map. Yeah, there's, whoa, that's a lot of damage. There's stuff in the works for these things. There's not a lot of changes for season 2 coming for either of those directly. A lot of the UI work's been being done on the new Weaver UI, the new Echo UI, the new all the new stuff that's coming. So there's not a ton of changes on the Merchant's Guild and the Circle of Fortune UI, but it is on the list, and there are some changes, I think. Heavy gets it a bunch. Mike 190 Twitch gets it a bunch. There's more subs coming through than I have ever seen. It's just rolling. Just I don't even know what's going on here. This is crazy. This is crazy. Congrats, everyone subbed at this point. Wild, just wild. Okay, let me see if I can answer something favorably here. Do you guys find a way to make cosmetics available in true offline mode yet? Not yet, I'm sorry. Come on, guys, give me an easy question here. Will there be nodes that interact with Heartseeker and other skills trees? I don't think there's any nodes in other trees that directly impact Heartseeker. There's items, and there's nodes in Heartseeker's tree that impact other skills. I don't think so. New player here. Why no hotkey to compare offhand item and second rings? Aha! Yes, this has been a problem for a long time, and I'm very happy to say we have a fix for it. It's coming. We've got offhand ring comparison. We've got offhand comparison and off ring slot comparison coming. I think it's crap. I don't remember which hotkey it is, but it's coming. It's on its way. It's happening. The main reason why I didn't, oh my god, oh my goodness. What is going on? I have no way of keeping up with this. This is insane. Ooh. Oh, nice. That's a max roll on that. On a decent base too, actually. That's not bad. That's not bad. All right. Well, thank you very much for even more, Jarzul, and Lanker Hanker for the sub. Thank you very much. You guys are and Tolmat IP and Apple G72. I need to pull this window to a different spot so I can see it better. How can I reorganize this? Because I am just squinting. It's like the farthest thing from me on a screen. Way I can't even touch it. Plutterfs. Oh, that's one that I guarantee if I find the capitalization on it, it will make so much more sense. Oh, we are just rolling in it. This is nuts. Charity, it's all going this way, that way, for these guys. All right, one of the podcast streams, 4th and 8th. I think they're on the 8th and the 11th. I want to say. Fact check me on that one. We've really got to get, I've been saying this for like years now, we've got to get a like custom sound and sprite for sub notifications and things like that. Thank you, Kane. All right, yes, the 8th, April 8th at 3 p.m. and April 11th at 3 p.m. Central Time for both will be the two more. Here they are. Boom, right there. Thank you, Kane. Much appreciated. Are there any plans to make legendaries drop randomly, or will they always just be craftable? Even if it's really rare, it would be a big hype moment to see one drop. Thoughts? I think it's one of those things where the variance is so high. And you usually want to craft specific, you want to combine specific things on there for it. I'd say it's unlikely that we'll be dropping them as pre-made legendaries anytime soon. But it's definitely possible. There's even more. Tails! Tails 3? Or 0011, one of the two. Depending on if we're talking base 10 or base 2. Here's a terrible joke for you. Why do programmers confuse Halloween and Christmas? Because octal 31 is the same as decimal 25. Yeah. December, the base 10 and base 8 numbering. Never mind. Anyway, Charzol, thank you for even more. That's I don't know how many is it, like 25 this stream or something ridiculous? That's insane. That's insane. Thank you very much. Okay. Any chance for a true berserk class, possibly ability using fists? Yeah, I think that's a theming that we've sort of dabbled in, but not really like fully invested in yet, and I'd love to see it expanded. Hello, I'm a ballista enjoyer, but can't seem to make ballistas stand up on their own right. They have to be either exploded, totems, or Raven combined, with the Raven being Falcon being the main DPS. Any future plans to support ballistas as the main damage scaler? They're definitely getting some love. There's some stuff in the future as well that's got some cool tech for them that we're introducing. I don't want to say like they're going to be a like top tier DPS build or anything like that, but there's definitely some work we were doing on ballistas recently for future stuff. Ooh, little harbinger. Let's get this. What's your favorite unique? Ooh, great question. Do I have an answer? I like uniques that do cool stuff that's special. I'm gonna say... Honestly, it's probably the Beekeeper gloves. Terrible cop-out answer. I don't know, I really like the... There's a couple new ones. Oh, I can't talk about that one yet. There's 2 new ones coming that I really want to talk about right now that I will talk about soon when we go over itemization. Existing ones in the game right now. Probably... I really like the squirrel helmet. I really like this raptor weapon too. Maybe it's just because I'm wearing it right now. The new relic that we've revealed as a boss drop from Uber. Yeah. I'd say David Harbour's unique because yeah, I mean, getting to talk to David Harbour about this was pretty crazy. So yeah, that's up there for sure too. All right. Does Snow Crash node in Earthquake create large or small avalanche boulders? Oh, I definitely know what that node does off the top of my head. Earthquake, not avalanche. Snow Crash. Those will be... That's the base. Those will be big ones. Those should be big ones because it references the base skill tree. I mean, just allocate it and see what it does. If I had the ability unlocked, I would check it for you right now. Nah. Next question. Aside from Sentinel / Heartseeker, what class spec is going to have something new and cool that you are looking forward to? All of them. Most of it comes around like specific uniques and new things you can do that way. But yeah. All of them, really. Something new for everybody. Close. Right, skill and class design question. Any ideas or plans on expanding the mix and matching for elements on skills? I love the idea of Liath's machinations, but having problems in endgame. Yeah, it's a tricky thing because there's so much natural synergy in getting similar elements together, because when you have increase effects that target a specific element, you can make them be a little bit stronger. It's kind of like that give and take of you're getting access by mixing your elements. You're getting access to new effects and new things that can trigger new like debuffs, and there's all sorts of like little extra secondary things that you get access to by mixing in a second element. But then you get the reduced effectiveness of your damage increases and things like that. So it's a bit of a trade-off there. I'd kind of liken it to adding another color into your deck in like a magic or something like that. And we do try to put conversions into skills when there's going to be specific thematically appropriate like connections specifically for that. So you can still have, so you can use two abilities together that should play nice together, but still get the full benefits from damage. But if you really want split theming, we tried to put that on like Rune Master as an example of something that would function better. Getting bonuses from mix and matching elements. Right. I have seen a 3D printer in your background previously. Yes. Any possibility of getting some iconic in-game assets in a printable format for fan art purposes? I mean, I'd love to. I've taken a couple objects from game files and tried to convert them to 3D printable. I'm moderately successful on a couple of them. I would love to have like a little library of printable things that people could download and print out and things like that. That would be really cool. So I guess no plans, but I love the idea. Can we survive just standing in this? I think so. Nailed it. Can you give more information about putting LP back on items that you previously teased? Back on items. We're not adding a way to put LP back on the egg that's already in the game is the only way to add LP to an item that doesn't have LP on it. I think that's true. We'll go through one of the upcoming podcasts. We're going to focus on itemization, and we'll go on a deep dive on all of the things like this. I think I know what you're asking about, and I can't really answer the question without giving more away than I'm supposed to give away. But we will talk about this pre-patch notes, and you'll get some good solid info on this. I promise. Don't worry. I think this is asking about, because we've teased that there's going to be some system in the game to alleviate the feels bad moments of slamming an item and not getting the thing you were looking for. I think that's what this is asking about. But it's gonna be real good. It's gonna be real good. Will we get to see what the new quiver that you teased a while ago does in one of the podcasts or not? I will make a request for that, for yes, showing that off. I don't see why not. What do we get? just some mana. This is what we put in the egg. Not exactly top tier. Yeah. It's fine. I mean, it's nice stats and everything, but I don't know. Oh my goodness! Ow! my face. I didn't know I was asking for the face breaking treatment. I mean, I guess there's. I guess I'm wrong. Like, there's a legendary that just dropped right there that I had nothing to do with it being created. It just dropped, right? Like, I guess I kind of did because I empowered it, but so maybe we do drop legendaries. Maybe I'm just wrong. Are there any big changes coming to the shaman skill tree or more itemization to help expand the builds? More in the itemization category. There's some changes coming to some of the skill trees, but I'd say more focused in the itemization side of things. What do you think about crossover skins with Lord of the Rings or Arthas for Forge Guards? I mean, I love the idea. I don't know if it's the sort of thing that either of those franchises would find appealing, given the volume difference in reach. Lord of the Rings and WoW are significantly bigger than we are. The third Lord of the Rings movie, I think, is the biggest Oscar sweep ever, where they've of any time a movie has been nominated or won all of its nominations, Lord of the Rings had the most nominations for movies that won all of their nominations. I think that's what the stat is. All right, are we getting buffs to endurance threshold affixes in general? Yeah, there's some sort of just general endurance buffs that are coming. There is some support to electrify and healing hands. Yes, and we know that most of electrify support is coming for lightning skills, specifically holy lightning skills. Just a little interjection. So is there lightning conversion for healing hands? I don't know if that made it into season 2 or not. We are planning, either for season 2 or beyond, more lightning support in holy hands, healing hands, holy hands, healing hands. Will the Weaver? This is the problem when I get working on things in the future, is I don't remember what's actually coming this season and next season. Gets all jumbled up into one. All right, will the Weaver faction have their own pinnacle boss encounter? Not in the same way that Aberoth is to Forgotten Knights. Like, kinda, because is that more? Is that more? My goodness. No, like, there is the hardest thing to do in the game gets accessed through Weaver faction stuff, but it's more thematically tied to Forgotten Knights, so kinda. Since unlocking tiers in Merchant's Guild distorts the price of the best gear, since few people unlock later tiers, is there any plans on a rework? Example, trading costs is gold as friction and shards and runes as their currency used to buy and sell. Unlocking tiers reduce gold friction costs. This is a concern that we've been talking about. We do have a solution planned for it for the future. It's going to be a little bit different, but than what you're suggesting here. But like, because it's not done yet, we're very welcome to suggestions on it. So if you do have a specific idea that you'd like us to consider, please head on over to the suggestions channels on our Discord, forums, any of the places we take suggestions from, and we can incorporate that when we start implementing it. But we do have some adjustments for that planned. Let's get a little. I thought I was going to die sooner. Here's a Weaver's node. Here's a node from the Weaver's Will Tree. Weaver's Will Tree, the Weaver's Tree. So this is another one of the like style of things that we're doing. Yeah, we're trying to give you, this is what we've been talking about more control over, more influence over what type of things you're doing in the end game. When you're playing, what sorts of things are you wanting to see more of, trying to give you tools to get more of those things you want to see more of. All right, any chance we get an option to hide multiple item types in a single loot filter argument with 1.2, season 2? Example, belt subtype and chest subtypes. No. That's not happening in season 2. We're combining something else though. There's something else we're doing to combine 2 rules into 1 to make it a little bit easier to free up a couple rule slots for people, because we're not adding more rule slots, but we are trying to free up some of them. This one? This one. Yes. Let's try it. Let's try it. Let's try it. And of course, there's spires. Spires are getting reworked. Pumped on the spire rework. Yeah. Spire rework's gonna be great. I had a moment of, like, have I not even touched this mage's health? This exiled mage. Room of research. Hardly knew ye. When is frozen enemies? Whoop. When is frozen enemies shatter like in D2 PoE gonna come? Oh yeah, we're working on it. Working on it. Cause yeah, that is necessary, isn't it? I don't mean this facetiously or joking. Like, yeah, I agree. Cause it is really sweet. The visual feeling. There's some. Was it like the Narnia movies or something? There's like a really visceral, like, ice shattering moment in a movie I saw a while ago that was. I can see it. I just don't know what it's from. Anyways, I want that. Are you planning on making monoliths longer? Right now, I feel like I'm spending more time sorting loot between them than actually slaying monsters. Yeah, some of the so the cemeteries are fairly big. So yeah, some of these the new echoes will be, some of them will be bigger, some of them will be smaller. Yeah, there's a few options in there. Ooh. Nice, it's a nice added damage there. Thank you very much, Master Sword. That is 47 months in a row. My goodness. Next month's a big one. I feel like we gotta start commemorating these huge ones somehow. Nutty. Nutty. Love it. Will there be any change or updates to the graphics setting options? Any change at all? Yeah, I think so. There's a bunch of changes that happen to the settings panel. I should be in an easier space, so I'm not having to actually not die. How many new big bad bosses being put into the new season? A small handful. When season 2 starts, can we get some sort of skip for factions like we do for alts now? First characters on fresh loads will have to play through the game normally and get to the factions normally and unlock them in the storyline where they're supposed to be. Like, it's a lot of power to unlock them early. And the experience gain that you're getting early on in the game is so small that it doesn't make much difference as far as like leveling them up early or anything like that. Right. Any updates for minion survivability? I mean, dots, they'll be more resilient to dots in general. So yeah. There's also like individual stuff for lots of different minions. Are you ever gonna make more co-op dungeons or even something like WoW raids? Ever's a long time. Ever's a long time. We don't have any plans, and season 2 won't have any. And I think we're getting to the point where we have like substantial amount of content where adding something like this is much more viable than it used to be. I think there was probably a problem in the past where we didn't have enough stuff to do, enough activities, that if we said, hey, here's dev time, here's resources we put into making a specific thing, like a content that requires minimum 2 people, everyone who plays solo or just doesn't have any friends to play with or doesn't want to play with anyone else, or, you know, like for whatever reason they're playing solo, is just like, it's just content they just like can't do. It's just not available to them, even if they want. No matter how much they want it, it's not there for them. And I think that's something that we wanted to avoid spending too much time on in the past, but we are getting, I think, to a more reasonable position of content where if, like, say we had 10 activities and one of them was co-op only, that's a very different ratio than having 20 activities and one of them being co-op only. You know, like it's all about that activity ratio. I think after season 2 we're gonna be in a much better place. I don't know if it's enough or not, but it's a nothing for now, but who knows what the future will bring situation. I guess I'm supposed to know, isn't that the point? All right. I will say that I've had some there's been some boss design meetings that or ideas that I've seen that have required multiple people that I've really liked the ideas behind, so I would love to try it. Just personal note. All right, what new elements are being added to these Sentinel skills? Like conversions, new conversions. There's a lot of new void conversions getting added in. Sub skills are getting new conversions. Mostly fire and lightning stuff, and void stuff. But we're not adding in like a new element into Sentinel's package. Like we're not adding cold stuff into Sentinel heavily. We're not adding necrotic stuff into Sentinel heavily. Yeah. Oh, are you now chilling for 2 weeks? What's the team doing? No, we're not chilling for 2 weeks. So we're in a stage now where we're like content locked, and anything that's gonna go into, we still have lots of work to do. So a lot of it is just testing and polishing right now, where we're like playing the game as much as we can internally, just making sure we're catching little annoyance points and little bugs and things where it's like really low risk, just feel good fixes that we can get in. If they're like blockers, we'll try and make sure they're stable enough to push in for the actual launch build. If they're just nice to have stuff, we'll get them in a hot fix early on in the first few days. You know, that sort of stuff. So like the stuff you see in a lot of the hot fixes that will come out in the first few days will be stuff that we're working on now. It doesn't stop. It calms down a bit though. It calms down a bit, which is really nice. I knew I was standing outside that. No problem. Oh, I thought I was gonna answer a bunch of questions. Thought I was saved. Took my hands off the keyboard and mouse. Oh, so good. Oh, I am. That serves me right perfectly. How do we unlock the secret lizard level? That doesn't look like anything to me. If Symbols of Hope is now casted automatically, how will Orion Seal interact with the skill? It increases the rate that it casts at. So it increases the autocast frequency. Unwavering fate doesn't scale with amount of symbols then. Definitely not opening this image back up so I can read what it actually says. Activating symbols now heals you for a portion of your maximum health. It doesn't look like it does, but I would expect it to. Maybe it may not scale with the number of symbols. The way the node's written, it doesn't scale, but I would have to check to make sure that's how it actually functions to be sure. Let's go get that unique up there. Any chance a minion skill like Raise Spectre and PoE? Oh my gosh, having like we're talking about the like clones, right? Like having copies of existing of enemies as minions, like D2 Revive, and we've talked about this a few times internally, and we've batted around the idea a little bit. The way that our enemy abilities and enemy systems are set up, it's a very tricky thing to do, and we're not jumping on something like that just yet. We've batted this idea around a few times though, and things that get batted around come back usually. At least I hope so. All right, with the stash taps, I think it's tabs lag that happens from time to time, especially when one character has a lot, will be optimized. Yes, coming up. You can hold your breath on this. No, a couple weeks still, isn't it? More search and sorting function, not much right now, but it's something we're working on. May have missed it in the interviews. Do set shards need the same base as it was taken from, or can I take that meteor, it is now electric, and throw it on a shield instead of a staff? Sorry for the name, that's Velatra's. It does require the same base type. It does not require the same subtype. So for example, let's say we had, let's say this was a set item. And because it's on a great wood coat, and that's the subtype, is a great wood coat. You could pull the shard off and put it onto any primalist body armor. It would not be required to be a specifically a great wood coat. So it's like this. Like this is required to be a one-handed sword, not necessarily to be a serrated tooth, which is confusing because it's a specific one for this item. So it's a bad example. But yes, it is required to still be a staff. So you can only use lightning meteor when you're wielding a staff specifically. Assuming that that is the mod that gets pulled from the item. Big asterisk there. Because we haven't unveiled which affixes are being taken from each item yet. Alright, thank you very much. We've got another sub. I'm gonna ruin this name and I apologize now. Sakatavalash? Sakatavala? It's probably there's capitalizations there, I swear. And I'm gonna see it and be like, that makes so much more sense. Can't find it, I'm sorry. I've ruined it, everything. Thank you very much for the sub, appreciate it. Next question, why don't you introduce more skills and uniques faster? Takes a long time to make them. The short answer. GGG has put in more than 100 uniques and support gems plus 25 skills in 3 months, 12 months. In 9 months, you've only introduced one new skill and it's coming next patch. Alright. I think this is 2 questions in one. It is 2 questions in one. It takes a long time. We're adding stuff as fast as we can. There's advantages and disadvantages to both of the way our skill systems are set up for speed in different situations. I would argue they've got a much, I don't know. I don't have a good like, this is the difference in workflow that I can call to, because I have no idea what their workflow looks like. But yeah, they're adding a whole lot. Nice little LP on that. Don't hit that. Nectadin, thank you for the gifted sub. Appreciate you. All right, next question here. Will ailment damage ever be good for big hitting skills? Possibly. And like some big hitting skills have lots of individual hits anyways, and those ones it's really good for as well. Base damage ratio in the skill. Yeah, we already answered this question. All right. We are 45 minutes behind. 35 minutes behind. All right. Any plans to show item filter colors to items within the inventory? We don't really have the option for this at the moment. It is something that we're trying to get a good solution for, though. Helmets and body armor, the Weaver will come. Helmets and body armor with Weavers will come anytime soon. It's on the list. Oh! I forgot to do the last one too. All right, here's a little sneak peek. This is the I talked about this yesterday. I just drew on the screen. It looked terrible. So this is what it actually looks like. We are adding a corruption display to the monolith map panel, so you will be able to at a glance tell which timelines are at which corruption. And yes, these are definitely legit achieved corruption numbers that were not manually typed in at all. I promise. Thanks, Justin. All right, the set item crafting is one of the things I'm looking forward to the most. Me too. Are there any specific set bonuses that required an overhaul that you're looking forward to playing with? No. A couple of them required minor tweaks. We nudged a few numbers up and things like that, but there weren't any that were like, oh, this one needs to be just changed completely. I don't think. Yeah, there was a few base affixes we changed. Like base item things we changed. There wasn't a ton of changes we made to most of them. A few number tweaks here and there. One, I think affix got switched out completely. But you know, for the most part, set items are relatively, they'll be pretty familiar, the items themselves. All right, will we see procedurally generated procedural generation used in the campaign / mono maps? Not talking about side areas. It is something that we are looking to expand this system into. The system we're starting off with in just the tombs and the cemeteries is like, it's the first time we're using it. We got it in time to make this work, and we're gonna learn a lot from the implementation here, and then we're gonna push that out to other parts of the game as it is useful, and it's going to be very useful. Torspear, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate it. Also, yeah, if you have a question, please put last Epoch game in the question so I see it in chat. I know I'm really far behind. I apologize. I'm answering them quickly. If I can get through all of these, I will do my best. We're only 7 pages behind on this document. That's quite far behind. Whoops. Right, might need to rapid fire some of these. How we just look at my shiny raptors and helmet. Look how pretty. Yeah. Did we get it? Oh, we got bite. So this little Easter egg. Every minion in the game, most minion types in the game have specific names they can randomly be assigned. So raptors, one of them is bite. Mr. Fibble, thank you for the 16 months. Appreciate you. All right, have the team at EHG considered making some endgame combined affixes to help with difficulty gearing in the endgame compared to legendary crafting, like fire damage plus fire resistance or health plus armor? Yes. You're gonna see some new affixes available on items that didn't have them available before through set items now. So there's some cool stuff like that there, which is sweet. Are you able to show us WASD in action? I'm not. The client I'm on does not have WASD available. I'm sorry. It does not. It's not a huge. It is a beta system still. It feels great for people who really want WASD in the game. It doesn't add new functionality to your abilities. So what you can do is the same on keyboard and mouse and WASD. Is there going to be mechanical interaction changes to main damage skills like Erasing Strike and Forge Strike apart from the numerical changes that should offset the VR rework? Yes. Will the new faction bring an alternate method to leveling Weaver pieces? Yes. Some builds can't support taking off key pieces of the Weaver in that slot. Yes, there's a new rune that does this. Will there be any changes to prophecies? Yes. One of the biggest pains is not having high level base types able to be targeted. Only some bases are offered. I can't speak to this specific change off the top of my head, but we are making changes to some prophecies, yes. Thank you very much. Another name I'm going to butcher, and I apologize now. That is definitely got some capitals in there, doesn't it? Palatz's Runder Hintern. I wish I was better at this. This is like I wish I could just like practice. I should just go hang out in random streams and just practice saying people's names to myself out loud. Is that something that people do? All right. Hi Mike, love the game. Happy for season 2. Hype, me too. When I use evade, it often keeps jumping me back to where I evaded from. Is this a known issue or just me? This is something that I have seen reports of. I do not know. I wish I had a yes, I guarantee this has been fixed. I've never experienced this myself. But I know it was big enough and prominent enough that I know people were working on it at least. It'll be in the patch notes if it's fixed. I hope it is. If anyone is listening that did fix this, that knows, please let me know. All right. Hi, Mike. How do you enjoy? Oh, hi, John. How do you enjoy working on Last Epoch? I love it. And not just because it's my boss asking me this. Yes. Fantastic. It's one of those jobs that you kind of think about as a kid and you're like, haha, wouldn't that be cool? And then it happens and you're like, yep, definitely real. All right, in the upcoming season, the Sentinel can hold a two-handed weapon with a shield. Does this also mean a two-handed weapon and an off-handed sword can be used at the same time? No, it is very explicit in the wording. You can use a non-staff two-handed weapon in your main hand and a shield in your offhand. And it has to be specifically that combination. So it is fairly narrow. It is spear, two-handed axe, two-handed sword, two-handed mace, one of those 4 items, and a shield. No catalyst, no quiver, no bow, no staff, no wand, no scepter. Love the meteor one. All right. We know Forge Guard gets a Pinnacle passive node for two-handed shield plus shield at the same time. Are VK and Paladin getting Pinnacle passives too? There's some shakeups in the trees. Do I know where these nodes are off the top of my head? I don't know where the nodes are on the top of my head. I don't think they're specifically at the top necessarily. It doesn't mean they're any less awesome though. Some of the best nodes are near the bottom of the tree. Like that Void Knight one that just scales everything based on the number of points you have invested in the tree. So good. Hello there. Just want to say adding price checking to the inventory is the way Torchlight Infinite does it. It would help a lot. I presume price checking is the most annoying thing in Merchant's Guild at the moment. Yeah, that would be so nice to have price checking in the inventory. Oh my god, it'd be great. Anyway, we can purchase or earn a second stash chest reward for beating Aberoth, for example. Like, are you running out of your 200 stash tabs? Is not enough? Is that what I'm hearing? We don't have any plans to crank that up even higher, but you know, if we if there's a really good need for it, we can consider it. We are pulling keys out of your stash, so you'll have a little bit more rooms freed up for next season. is this? Are you asking on earning a second reward drop for the kill? Oats, you can respond and I'll try and find you in chat if this is asking about a second. If it's a second reward for the kill at like for one kill, we don't have that planned. I don't think that's what it's asking. Maybe though. I love that. All right. I just laughed at the name here. Very. Mr. Ben Diesel asks, love the name. What are your thoughts on bringing seasonal uniques to the game that are build defining for that season, like having a unique that turns Fireball into a Void Ball that spins around you or Ball Lightning? I think that removing an item from the game, that's a tough one. So my initial reaction is I love the idea. I think it'd be great. I think I would really enjoy something like that personally. My second reaction is like, how well would that go over? I don't think that would go over. I think either the item ends up being something people don't like and therefore is inconsequential and it doesn't matter, or something people really like and are sad when it goes away. I don't know, maybe if it was like always scheduled to turn into something else or something. And then like depending on what happened in the season, some like community effort, it like changed one of 3 outcomes or something. I feel like there'd have to be something like that predetermined. I don't know. Looks like we may have got a reply on the previous question already. That'd be sweet. Oh, no longer in chat. Sorry, bud. Here's an item I love. We're talking about uniques that I love. I love this unique because it does cool stuff that no other unique does. Really like this unique. All right, is Sentinel's passive tree getting a complete rework? Not a complete rework, no. Just about half the passives will change. I don't have a fixed number, sorry. How much better will it be in comparison to what it is now? So subjective. At least one better. Sorry. What is the design direction for Shaman? Currently, it seems torn between 3 different archetypes. Yeah. It does have access to a fair few things. What's the third? I guess the spellcasting stuff. I don't know. I always feel spellcasting stuff kind of bleeds into Druid a bit. At least it's like where we tried to put it, but shapeshifting is so prominent there that it's kind of taken over a bit. It's getting that mix of my personal like touchstone base for a shaman archetype is a WoW shaman. Specifically enhanced shaman is what I played. Well, then I switched to healing for a long time. But apart from healing, like an enhanced shaman, I feel like was a lot of fun to level as, and getting a lot of the totems end up being just kind of like buffs. And you're basically just a sort of an alternate melee character. I don't know if that's a bad thing. Hey, you got an LP on that. That's nice. Berserk kicking in strong. I think we're going to see Shaman lean into totems and melee a lot more. How much love is Hammer Throw getting in the new Sentinel stuff? I'm sorry, I don't really have a lot of good specifics for like, hey, this node's getting buffed this much, or like this specific archetype's getting this much love and this one's getting buffed more than that one or something like that. There's some feel and functionality stuff we just tweaked on Hammer Throw. I know there's some new functionality we just added. about all the specifics I can go into. Can you share anything on on the other charm we don't know about? It's an either or thing, so you'll be picking that if you want to go through the dungeon itself and enhance the dungeon experience. So it is an either or option. That might be new info. What's the chance of us getting a crossover with Stranger Things, since David Harbour is a huge fan? Can you bring us Vecna as a boss we could have to kill? I mean, I'd love to. Once again, that's D&D. Vecna's D&D, right? Someone tell me I'm not crazy here. That's not Stranger Things specifically. That's Wizards, isn't it? Yes, I'm gonna confirm that's Wizards. Okay, cool. Same answers before. I'd love to. I think it'd be incredible and amazing, and all these sorts of like dream come true moments. But like, I don't see the appeal from their side of things as much. So I'd say it would be a hard fought thing to get. You know, like when it's kind of a bad example because it's the same owner of the IP. But when like Magic did, I guess Lord of the Rings crossover, there we go. It's because they're both so huge. You know, like Lord of the Rings gets a bump from Magic, and Magic gets a bump from Lord of the Rings. So it's like they help each other. None of them would really get a huge bump from us. One day we will have a grand enough game that they will relish the opportunity. Dead Cells got a Castlevania crossover? That's cool. I did not know that. I was just trying out Dead Cells recently. Love it. Regarding balancing, does the patch include any general balance pass on skills not necessarily Sentinel related? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Lots. So there's more mechanical heavy things done to Sentinel than the other classes, but the other classes definitely have, you know, like if there's certain nodes that are just like going completely unused and everyone's like, oh, what's the point of this? You know, like we'll look to try and buff it a little bit, or if there's nodes that are like ubiquitous and completely overpowered because they're just like 1-point wonders that take your defenses into the stratosphere, then they're getting nerfed, you know, things like that. So we are trying to give more viable options across the board. Still just one. Womp, 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 womp. There's a lot going on in there. It doesn't feel safe at all. I should really have a stricter loot filter. Will Minion Necro and Beastmaster get any better rework? And second, what will Lizard Tail do? I'd say Necro and Beastmaster will be a bigger focus for us next season than this season. There's still some stuff in there for them for sure, but I would expect to see more later. There is one Necro build that I can tell you will be very powerful, specifically. I shouldn't say with that much confidence. I have a feeling there'll be a really good Necro build. Birdie Boss number 6, thank you for the sub, appreciate it. And I have no idea what lizard tails are. I don't know what you're talking about. No clue. When developing new skills and balance changes, are there things that you think that could be extremely overpowered, but only with very specific scenarios that you leave in the game because you don't think anyone will find them? No. I fully expect anything that we found you to find too. I don't think there's a world where we can like sneak things like that into the game. I think that Yeah, you all are so good at finding like very strong combinations that I don't think there's a way we would. Yeah. Built not bought. We are looking at YouTube chat. I promise you. I'm not looking at it directly, but I'm hardly looking at Twitch chat directly either. I've seen like 3 messages from it, but Kane is pulling questions from both. I am just really far behind. I've got a document with 7 pages of questions on it that I am rolling through at 10.5 font that I'm rolling through as fast as I can here. Oh, here's what we'll do. We are going to take a gameplay break. I'm gonna put this up. Do a little gameplay break. I'm just gonna answer rapid fire questions here. When developing new skills and balance changes are what are some types of skills you personally love to see in the game you can pull from other games, or something you think of on your own? I mean, this is tricky because I'm on the skill design team, so like the things that I'd really love to see frequently eventually end up in the game. I'd really like to see some abilities that are not possible right now because of some weapons that we don't have in the game. So like fist weapons or like crossbows, like things like that, where there's like weapons types that we don't really have in the game yet. That I'd like to see some thematic skills that go with those really nicely. But I don't really want to say them because I'm pitching them right now. What are some types of skills you'd personally love to see? Oh, it's it. Any plans to add uniques to interact with Storm Totem more? Yes. For example, the second totem or ability to shatter the Storm Totem for a massive lightning explosion. Those are both great ideas. Is there any chance we might see a rework or polish to the skill upgrade Ligonian Diplomacy so that it targets things better? It's a Gathering Storm node. Thank you for that tip. I know where Gathering Storm is on the tree. It's right there. When wielding a staff, the melee attack Gathering Storm is replaced by direct range. Oh yes, this one. There was, what did we change this? There was something we changed recently on this. There was animation changes we did for this, I think, and there was something else we changed recently too. I'm gonna go with yes as the answer. Hello, Mike. Can't wait for season 2. Keep up the good job. Thank you. You do with last Epoch. With changes to set items and set shard crafting, how will COF bonus dropping the whole set instead of one be balanced? It already is balanced. So it won't change. It's you just drop the whole set. Yeah. Do you guys that bonus for dropping the set items was kind of put in knowing that we were going to do something like this, and people are like, it's useless and terrible, and we're like, yeah, it is now, but it will be good, and now it's being good. Do you guys plan on doing public PTRs in the future, like how Diablo 4 does it? Maybe. We've got a CT program, a community tester program that we really, really like. We probably want to open it up a little bit more. We're still working on how we're going to do that. It's tricky. Yeah. No specific details, but we are planning on revamping that system for us. Hi, what's your stance on snapshotting minions with gear? Fixable? It's a really frustrating problem. We've experimented with some different ways of fixing it. Falcon fixes it decently well, but it has a lot of advantages that we can't use for regular minions. So we're working on it. All right, got an idea for, we're at the 1:30 mark, or the 3:30 mark. So it's we're 45 minutes behind still in chat. So I apologize if I haven't got your question yet. I got an idea for a question. While you've talked about elemental damage, does it make sense to make similar thing for necrotic poison void damage, something that can be corrupted damage? I've literally pitched that exact thing before. We're not doing it yet. Any plans on letting us change what minions look like? Yes. There will be minion cosmetics eventually. I don't think there is any for season 2 drop though. All right, and there are some times there's items that change that as well, like sometimes they'll add a VFX to it, or sometimes there's skills like the Sabretooth. When you take the cold nodes in the Sabretooth, it changes to the cold Sabretooth. Let's see about can we get a sell all button. We need to have a lock button first for locking items in your inventory. We don't have that at the moment, so maybe in the future, not season 2. What are the cocooned uniques? They are cool uniques. They're new. The ones shown in the season 2 trailer. Stay tuned to the Itemization podcast that we will reveal that in. Any plans to allow the complete reset of all monolith progression? You can do this pretty quickly. Oh, like complete reset of all progression? No. If you really want to do this, like, it's kind of like make a solo character. Or start the new season when it starts, type thing. Any chance we could get XP per hour when you hover over the XP bar like PoE2 has? For the number of geeks like me. Yeah, I don't think that's unreasonable. We don't have time for season 2 to put it in right now, but I like that idea. I think it's cool. Hey Mike, any thoughts on implementing an achievement system either for in-game or through Steam? Oh yes, we've been brainstorming achievement ideas and cool things to get people to hunt for. What's up Mike? Hello. Can we get a bit more parity between movement skills? Right now you get some over terrain through walls, others do not. For instance, the leap you are currently using won't leap up ridges, but the Acolyte Transplant will. Yeah. And other ones will go right through walls altogether sometimes. We are... The way... Part of it is the problem that the way that they each try to figure out if it's a legal place to leap to or teleport to. I think it does make a lot of sense that thematically they have slightly different functionality. Mechanically, it is very frustrating. I see where you're coming from. So it's a good discussion topic, but there's nothing changing to it right away. All right, if it can be commented, will the new update for controller allow aiming with the right stick and movement with the left stick in any capacity? No, it doesn't do that. Don't know if this question has been asked before. Sorry if it did, it's okay. Will there be some new things during the campaign, just to spice it up a bit? Yeah. For example, the champions appear in the campaign. All right. Any possibility for MTX for transformations? You buy Werebear MTX instantly, yeah. We are working on MTX transformations. There are none available in season 2. They're one of those things where it's like each transformation MTX is the amount of work of like 10, 15 other ones. So it's especially early on when we're like, how many can we get into the game? And we can put some in that can be affected by you when you're still in transformed mode because you're triggering other abilities. So you can still take advantage of it when you're transformed. Yeah, it's not in the first wave, but yes, we have MTX, we have cosmetic visual changes and audio changes to every ability type planned. Most of the armor MTX looks like it was designed on an Acolyte or a Sorc. A lot of them the model weirdly on a Primalist. Are you guys going to design armor MTX using a Primalist at the base or thought of it? They all get all of the cosmetics are individually made for each one. Like, so they are, there's like it's an actual different model that's on the Primalist. It's not a stretched model. But I don't know how the base design process happens for that. I would assume it's on a generic none of them piece. Like, it's not any one of them individually, but maybe it's closer to one of the other ones. I don't know. Hello, good to see you. Good to see you too. Quick question: why there is no option to set skills to the left middle mouse button when changing the hotkeys? The left mouse button is it's reserved for a lot of functions that it might be still alive. It's reserved for a lot of functions that we don't want to override. You can set an ability to your left mouse click here. So like we do this, and no, there I'm left clicking when I do that. So it is like it is possible to set an ability there. Middle mouse, I'm not sure why, is not an option. And I realized that you can't see me when I did that example, but I promise you it worked. I did get frenzy. Yeah. In the future, would we ever be able to get a system to combine unwanted idols to re-roll to a new idol, like a recombination for idols? I think that's possible. It's not something we're adding right now, but I do like the idea, and I have heard it pitched before. With the updates to Electrify and Time Rock coming, are there any plans to take a look at the other damaging ailments to make them more varied? Currently, Bleeding Night and Frostbite and Poison are so mechanically similar that the optimal way to use all of them is just the same, just apply as many stacks as possible, and it's pretty boring. Yes. Do you have any good examples? I'd really love to hear the specific examples on this. The Time Rot overhaul is in season 2. And I think that's a really good example of finding a way to do one of them. But yeah, if you got any ideas for the other ones, I'm all ears. All right. One thing I realized today, don't know if it has been mentioned yet. Stash is usually organized by item type because we got filters for that. But for every item type, a row gets left empty at the bottom. Yes. If I fill a stash tab with boots, for example, there will be a single row left, which is not enough for boots. It's possible to add one more row. It's a huge pain to add one more row, and we absolutely should have originally. I don't know if we can fix this or not, but it's... Yes, please, yes, please, 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 please. All right, how many total points in the Weaver tree will we get, and how many the total points are in the tree? We haven't said this yet. I don't know off the top of my head. You'll have less than half the number of points. You will be able to invest less than half the number of points. I can say that. So you're gonna have to make some hard choices on what you actually want to go for. And there's a fair few options. Right. It's a big enough tree that you have to, the window scrolls, like the window scrolls around. It's not, you can't see all of them on one window. All right. Hey, Mike, what's up with the Judgment Gloves equip level being 20 levels before you unlock the skill? It's just, there's other stats in there that are good to use, and I don't think there was any big thing about it. It is kind of funny though. Anything that will make it easier to distinguish my pets from enemies. I mean, the health bars, if you really want to distinguish your pets from enemies, the health bars are the best way to do it, I think. There we go. Minions get green health bars, your enemies get red health bars. How are spires changing? Can you say more? They're going to be, I don't know if I'm allowed to say exactly what it is. They're going to be much more localized and interesting encounters. Yeah. What is the average spawn rate for Nemesis? I'm curious to know around what my chances are I've encountered Nemesis if I go 3-3 into Fated Nemesis Weaver node. I don't know what the base spawn rate is. I know that when you're at like extreme corruption numbers, it is almost every echo. Any chance that other classes will be added to act as exiled mage alternatives like exiled paladin or exiled lich? The way that they are there, like the reason that they're there doesn't make any sense for other classes, so probably not. I would love to see, I mean, this is I see where this is something that has been suggested a few times, and I understand based on what happened yesterday why this question is getting asked today. And I think that there's a good opportunity for things like it in the future, but the whole reason exiled mages exist and the theming and the story behind that is it wouldn't really make sense for other classes. Is there any plans for improving minion control, particularly for melee minions? It's possible to keep them from running into big boss attacks. Not specifically, but they're really, really durable to area of effect attacks. Will all items have parity between 2 and 3D models? I mean, that's the goal. We make 2D items way faster than we make 3D items. So it's the idea of slowing down the 3D item production or the 2D item production in order to let 3D item catch up feels very counterintuitive to me for just having a fun game. So probably not anytime soon, but that is the goal. Hi, any plans on implementing DLSS or the latest FSR? I don't know specifically if that's going to happen or not. I know it's on the list. I don't think it's coming in season 2. Are champion bosses going to be real bosses with mechanics, or are they essentially beefed up rare mods? They do have specific mechanics. They are like, it's not just like any minion can be championed. They are specific boss encounters, more mini boss encounters. But they do have like bespoke mechanics and abilities and things that they do that are thematically appropriate and are reflected in the affixes they drop and things like that. Hey Mike, it's me again. Welcome back. Any chance we can add the extra passives and idle slots to dungeon completion? I would prefer to add them to the monolith completion quests personally. But yeah, it's a chance. Any chance for Heartseeker to become both throwing and ranged per default? I assume this is asking about throwing and bow? Like have both tags simultaneously? No, definitely not. Would you guys consider revisiting some current season mechanics, say 2 years from now? Maybe the team wanted to do more things with the Weaver expansion but couldn't squeeze it in. Absolutely. I think you won't have to wait that long. What is the HG team approach to balancing player agency against build power levels? As a discussion point, the team often says they don't want to have non-interactive builds, which are also S tier. To me, proactively adjusting or limiting this, for example, reflect damage, seems like a huge trade-off for the ability to player to choose certain kinds of skills. Keen to hear your thoughts. I think that, yeah, so in general, we're much more in favor of kind of just like putting stuff out there into the world and seeing what happens. Let's see what wacky and cool stuff you guys can come up with. That's sort of the best case scenario. Sometimes there are in very rare cases builds that pop up that are really boring to play, like and we're talking extreme cases that we try and limit these in. So like, let's say there was a build that you could take this build. It was pretty easy to make, and you could take this build into Uber Aberoth, and you could beat Uber Aberoth no matter what, like guaranteed win, success, no problem. You can literally walk away from your computer, but it takes 12 hours. And we're talking hyperbole example here. This is a stupid example. It's not real, but like, that's bad. that is you like having 12 hours to kill something. Like if it's the objectively easiest way to do it, where you're like, okay, I got these items together, put on my character, I stepped into the ring, and I left, and I came back tomorrow, and I beat the boss. Great. It kind of devalues the achievement, the accomplishment, and it's boring sitting there for that long. So it's like, I think that it's in the extreme cases is when we really try and steer away from it. Also, I missed these ago, but Burt Popcorn and Undread1, thank you for the subs. I appreciate you both. And they all go to charity. All right. Oh, something in my eye. Spilling ginger ale on my playmat. Oh my goodness. All right. Any thoughts on lowering the skill level requirements, the last 3 skills by 5 levels? 20 to 15, 35 to 30, 50 to 45. Probably not. They're like passive requirements, not levels, but generally you get that from levels in Zydrus, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate you too. I would say it's very unlikely. It is something that we do look at and adjust, so there could be some tweaks and things like that. You are talking about specialization points, aren't you? Not the actual skill unlocks. I think, looking at what those numbers are. Still probably pretty unlikely, but it's possible. I don't know if this exists in the game, but has there been any thoughts to doing group up maps where modifiers scale based on the number of people in the party? Well, the modifiers do scale based on the number of people in the party. Like it just, when you group up, stuff gets harder in general. Like, and it's just it's a flat scaler, so everything affects it. And we have talked about you know, other multiplayer specific mechanics and things like that. That's something that we've discussed, and it's possible. It's not something we're looking at right away yet, but you know, I would love to do mechanically specific multiplayer things where it's like the fight's not really like required to do as a group, but like, I don't know, some cool thing happens. The example I always go back to is Diablo 2. Diablo, you're fighting him, he like, there's a big like bone prison cage that like comes up and like grabs a player, and like another player can like beat the cage, and it breaks it open, and then you can keep playing again. And it's this like, there's this teamwork moment, and like it almost never happens, and all that sort of stuff, but I do really like the idea behind things like that. All right, any word on a PS5 release? We'd love to do consoles. We don't have any specific info on which consoles, when consoles, anything like that yet, but it is something that we are looking into and we would love to see move forward. We just don't have any details at all. I'm sorry. All right, we are still 45 minutes behind, but we only have 5 pages of questions in the backlog. Heyo, getting better. I just got to burn through these. These are it's great. I'm sorry, I'm not really doing anything more exciting on screen. Should do a dance at the same time. Are there plans to make bosses mechanically more interesting and difficult at higher difficulties, like empowered monoliths, rather than just percentage boost to stats? I think boss fights evolving with difficulty isn't amazing, and is amazing and much more interesting. Absolutely, yeah, I agree. Heavy, yes, I agree. I'd love to. I'm working on it, don't worry. Hey Mike, I had an idea on whether we could be able to change the base item and slash of unique slash legendary using an in-game mechanic like a temporal sanctum. Wondering if this is something that could work, be too powerful, or even be possible. The way that our the way that our item system works, changing the base type of an item would require us to create that item as a base type for that unique, and have it kind of sitting in the background, not doing anything. We have had uniques that have had multiple base types and since have removed all of the multiple base type variations for uniques, so that they're all just one now. It's possible I could see it coming back. I think it would be like specific options. Having it be any option would require a pretty massive change to the way the item is built. It's not impossible. Pretty unlikely though. Can class specific set bonuses be used by other classes? No. Mostly because you won't be able to equip the item in the first place, because there will be a class requirement on the item. Like you could, if you could get the items all equipped, the class bonuses, and you could get that ability to proc somehow. Like if you, I guess so. Hypothetically, here's one. Yeah, actually, yes, it would work. So here's an example of one that would work. If you have the Harbinger of Stars belt, and hypothetically, if Velatra's staff does have the, I mean, you can do this now, actually, can't you? Is the staff class locked even now? I don't have one. If the staff's not class locked, you can do it now. But yeah, like the sitting under everything, sitting on this character right now is the mutator for Meteor. And if you get the stat, if this character somehow got an item equipped onto it that had the stat lightning conversion for Meteor, it would work. And then if this character somehow had ability to trigger Meteor, like the belt, it would trigger and work for it. So it is hypothetically possible. I don't know if that staff is class locked, and I'm not confirming or not if that mod is moving over or not. And I realize that I'm zooming in and stuff on a character that you guys can't see. Whoops. There we go. You can see me. Hi. I think I have one more. I think I have one more teaser. We're just gonna shove that one up. I think this is new. Hope it's new. All right. Will we get class reworks for season 3 again, or is the studio pleased with the current class's specialization? I think the changes required for there are certain classes that I think are in more need of love than other classes right now in the game. Even at once season 2 launches, there'll be some that are more betterer than others. And so we will be looking at specific ones to get more changes, more mechanical changes than others. But I think it'll be a lower scope than the Sentinel one that was just done. And we'll be looking to add more new things in the future instead. And he plans to give players a possibility to cover less rare shards, to convert less rare shards into more rare shards at a ratio or something. Yes, we are planning this. We have way too many regular shards on our hands at endgame. Yeah, we're working on a shard conversion system where you can trade in shards. In Mana Strike with 100% spark charge nodes with the left side Mana Arc skill node, does Mana Arc also have 100% spark charge chance Mana Arc affected by Mana Strike nodes? Question mark. I'd have to double check. I have to double check exactly how it's worded. Can we check quickly? Mana Arc. Mana Arc creative and Mana Storm cost less. Increase Mana Storm. Mana Strike additionally strikes enemies it hits with Mana Arc. Yeah, this should. Yeah. This should inherit everything. Because it specifically says Mana Strike additionally strikes enemies. So it's Mana Strike that's doing the striking, which means that it is inheriting things that Mana Strike already has. Unless it's worded wrong, it works. What's the ultimate goal with the Sentinel rework? To make more fun and viable options with higher variety in available abilities. Will we be able to search accepted prophecies? I don't think so. Will you get different set shards for each piece of the set, or will the weapon set item always give you this? Give you the weapon set shard? The weapon from the set item will always give you the weapon set shard. Yeah, like so. If you break down, if you have a set that has like a few pieces, like. Okay, so if you put the gloves, if you break down the gloves for Xeric's gloves, you'll never get Xeric's belt set shard. You'll always get Xeric's gloves set shard. Any plans to improve? And my goodness, wow, I actually got that mostly on screen. Not quite. There we go. Any plans to improve NPC models? Yeah, there's lots of NPC models that got changes. Yeah. A bit confusing question about merchant scale, but since there isn't really a good way to remove gold from the game, as the season goes on, it just gets traded between players, causing prices to rise up. Any plans to address that in the next patches? I would encourage people to go to the Lightless Arbor. You can have tons of sweet items dropped from there, yeah. Any chance we get avalanche and earthquake totems and variations for them, so we can get full totem on, so we can go full totem on these nodes. I think that's something that we are looking into for future releases. But yes, I don't want to say, okay, I shouldn't say yes explicitly, but I think there's a very good argument for those things. All right. Any major balance changes for Warlock, or mostly balance changes around ward generation? Mostly around ward generation. There's some nodes that were overperforming that are getting a little bit of a nerf. It's a sweet new unique item though. Any thoughts on changing corruption scaling to increase exponentially rather than linearly? I think we're doing. It's still going to be linear, but the multiplier is changing. I think. I think that's what we're doing. So it's not 1-to-1 anymore, but it is still linear. It's just not. Like changing this to like this, you know, it's still linear, but it's, well, if I could draw straight, it'd be linear. But you know, changing the slope of it. I don't know why I erased those first. All right. Any plans to unlock the game for Steam Family Share? No, it causes a lot of problems of things we don't have control over that we just can't do. There's things that the Steam Family Share does that, like, Steam would have to change how Family Share works for us to re-enable it, I think. Yeah. Which I do not expect them to change it at all. All right, was the jump in difficulty between Monolith bosses and Harbingers adjusted? In a roundabout way, yes. I mean, technically no, but in effect, yes. Like the average character power level will be higher at that point in the game, so you'll have an easier time making that transition. But it's still a decent jump. I know we have a bunch of B uniques. We are running low on time here. Catching up. I think we're going to stop taking questions fairly soon. I'm trying to get through as many. We've devolved into just a straight question and answer stream instead of me playing, which is fine. And I hope you guys are liking it still. But I do have a lot of questions to get through here still. I know we have a bunch of B uniques. How about some Groll uniques? Yeah, like turn Baron to summon Groll. Love it. Love it. Yes, please. Sign me up. Nothing coming in season 2. Sorry. If there was one feature change that you're most proud of that the team achieved for this update, what would it be? Procedural generation. Definitely. And I can say that because I had nothing to do with it. If there was one feature change, will we get more freedom on some weapons like bows or new weapons like crossbows? Yeah. Season 2 doesn't have a ton of this, but we are definitely looking forward to new weapon types, new weapon base types. I think a lot of those will come with new classes or new abilities that go with them, specifically things like that. But yes, we are actively looking at new weapon types in the future. Will Primal Ancient Hunt be a monolith activity or a separate system like Arena Dungeons? It is not implemented. I don't have any specific details on it, and even if I did, I probably couldn't share them. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to skip this one. Are you guys working on sounds for drops in the loot filter, kind of like how PoE does it? I'm working on it in the sense of pitching it still over and over and over. So keep suggesting it in our suggestions forums and Discord channels and places that you can suggest it. Do you see any set items being relevant to use the item itself at base slot, or all the set items now just basically pinata for affixes? No, I do think that there's going to be situations where you'll want to use the base set item more than before, specifically because you'll be able to access the set bonus for that set item a lot cheaper. So the opportunity cost right now of accessing a set bonus, so if there's a set bonus you want, the opportunity cost of accessing that set bonus is 3 pieces, right? And if there's or 2 pieces in some cases, if there's so this is a set item, there's a specific affix on a set item that you want, it's like a really powerful set affix. Sometimes you will like what you're getting out of that set item sometimes isn't enough to make it worthwhile putting in your build. But you can look at it a little bit differently now, in the sense that the amount of space that set item is taking up in your build is now maybe one set item and 2 affixes on other items. And then you can look at like the set item and the set bonus that it brings all as one thing, and the opportunity cost is so much lower that you're much more likely to want to pick up that set item. And I understand I misspoke a little bit here when I said, I actually didn't misspeak, but I kind of implied that I was talking about the set bonus instead of the actual affix on the item itself, because there's going to be some set item affixes that don't get pulled over with the set shards themselves, which will still be very desirable to have on the item. And the reason that they're balanced is they're balanced around having other crappy affixes on the item. So some of those affixes needed to stay on the set items in order to still be balanced and not break when they come over as a set shard. So we will still see, in some select situations, there's a ring I'm thinking of specifically in this example that will be viable as a set item, because you can take the other items in that set and put them and shadow them into affixes and slap them onto items. And there's like, you're using 2 affix slots, and it's a low requirement there, and then you get the set bonuses. And so yeah, I think there is room for this, and I think this is gonna make new set item creation more fun, like for designing them. Ooh. You mentioned cemeteries can or will be large. How much larger do you say the average echo? Good question. How much larger? 3 times? The average echo is pretty small. 2 times? I don't know, somewhere in that range. I am 50 minutes behind now. Oh my goodness, Mike. It was only 4 pages. That's good. For Weaver's Tree passive in multiplayer, will all effects stack in gameplay? Yes, it has nothing to do with multiplayer though. Like, if whoever's monolith you're in is the one that the tree will take into account for spawning things. Yeah. So if you and I are in a party together and we're doing your monolith, and I have a node that's like more champions will spawn, that node won't do anything because it's your monolith that we're in. All right, we are cutting off new questions right here. No more new questions. I'm sorry. Maybe 1 or 2 if you sneak them in real fast. But yeah, we're done with new questions because I gotta get out of here at some point. All right. For Weaver's Tree passive, all right, answer this. One of the biggest challenges in Merchant's Guild has been trading high LP items that are extremely valuable due to the gold cap. Any changes coming out? Would you share your insight on it? I think I don't have a good answer to this one. I'm sorry. I'd love to. There's stuff we're working on that's not going to make it into season 2 to help with this. Are you going to up the character limit from 25, or is 25 your highest you're going to go? Yeah, we're going to increase it still. I'm shocked it's still as low as 25. I could have sworn it went higher than that. Do you know what Righteous Fire build is? Yes. And if so, will Paladins be able to make something similar with the rework? Not easily. Not as effective as the one you're used to in other games. How do you know? How far out which season do you plan to split off season cycle from legacy resets that are still the same content? Oh, like where we stop applying some content from the new season to legacy on patch day drop? I have no idea. I hope it's not too far out though, because I actually like doing that. Will stash tabs carry over into next season, or will you need to buy them again? You'll need to buy them again, just like normal. Locked 1 LP unique item prophecy cost is higher than other prophecies, but with Nemesis, some can say without LP item is better because you can place it in the Nemesis egg to upgrade it. Is there any changes coming to prophecies in season 2? Much love, can't wait for season 2 patch. there are changes to prophecies coming in season 2. There is not this change you're requesting coming to season 2 prophecies. There is a different system to address this issue in season 2 coming. So we are fixing this, not the way you're asking to. It's going to be great. I hope we can talk about this in the next podcast, though. Yeah. Do you guys have any bias for or against big slams and single big hits? Nope. I think I probably have a slight bias towards them because I think they're fun. I like setting up or building around big single instances of damage, but the game seems a little more geared towards spamming. I don't think there's an intentional bias there, but there might be some unintentional stuff going on, maybe. Talking about rampant wishlisting / future dreaming. Could you ever envision an MMO set in the last Epoch IP? Epoch holders having to work together in dungeons and raids across time sounds pretty dope on paper. Yes, I've definitely imagined this in the past. It sounds very daunting, but kind of in a good way. I don't know. Love to. Is there any interaction combination you feel is OP but underused? Nah. I think you guys are really good at finding stuff. Is there any desire to change how channeling skills work to not be snapshot style? For example, healing hands only proccing once you activate the warpath, but never again until you stop to reactivate warpath. That type of snapshotting? No, I think I'm pretty happy with how that works. Raiding party. This is my AoE2 showing again. Like the hotkeys at the start. I don't know if that was from something else though. Anyways, I'm really enjoying playing Purifier in Grim Dawn till season 2 launches. Will we ever see pistols in last Epoch? I think it's possible. I think it's not something we have currently planned, but I mean, it's a time travel game. Can you kind of do what you want, right? Right? There's no like hard lock of like never pistols, never gunpowder, or anything like that. Like it's not something we are planning on right now. It's not something that's in the storyline for the main campaign we got 3 more chapters to go in the campaign. That's not planning to have gunpowder involved in the campaign, but there's time. Yeah. All right. Are there any changes to exiled mages? Yes, there's changes to exiled mages. They'll drop different stuff and tweaking some of the numbers and the way they play and stuff. But yes, there are some little changes there. Prophecies can get a bit clunky at times. You having to proc 3 at once, massive loot piles, and a hectic map. You often do backtracking or risk your life while looking at loot. Is this an issue to you? Yes, it is definitely an issue. Do not have a great solution for it at the moment. It's definitely an issue. If you do die while you're in a big loot bomb like that, the items, this is something we teased last week, the items that are in your immediate vicinity when you die do get transported to Echo of a World, where I'm standing right now, when you die, so those items will at least come with you. So in the worst case scenario, there's still a good improvement a little bit. Hello, very excited for the upcoming expansion. Me too. Question. Will there be any changes or updates to minion AI skills that can alter their behaviors? Nothing like major. Any changes? Yeah, there's little changes here and there, but not systematic wide changes. Hello, are you trying to balance the different character classes? Yes. Or it's okay if some are more powerful and faster. Yeah, I mean, like we'd like, if someone wants to go do the hardest content in the game, if they're opening the game and they're like, I wonder what class I'm gonna play. I want to be able to complete the hardest content in the game. I'd like that first decision on which class I'm gonna play to be which class do I connect with the most? Which class resonates with me? The style, the theming. What's the most exciting thing for me to take on as a character to embody and a fantasy to enjoy, rather than which one's going to be the most powerful, because even if that's your main goal, they're all going to have at least some path to victory for you. When will be new class? It's been too long. It's gonna be a little bit still. New classes are humongous. Because you can't, we don't take, nothing's cross-classed for us. So like Summon Wolf isn't an ability for, if we add a new class, Summon Wolf doesn't, there's nothing that Summon Wolf does that makes that easier to make. Some little things behind the scenes, but not much, especially not from the art team. We're getting low. Technically 3 minutes until this is over. There are 2 pages of questions left. I'm gonna finish these questions out. We're not taking more questions. I'm sorry. Hey, let's slap up all the rest of the stuff. There we go. You can see me. Hi. All right. Any performance improvements in the upcoming patch? Oh yeah. Have you guys thought about trying rewards to echo objectives, alter Spine's ambush, and possibly letting players choose what objectives to go after? Yeah. Like, are you saying like having multiple objectives in a single echo? Lesser on that one. But yeah, a lot of what this a lot of what the Weaver's Tree has to do is that, yeah. Can we see you do and explain a bit of crafting? Oh, we are right near the end of the stream. I tell you what, crafting is, there's enough in-depth stuff on crafting that I'm going to point you at one. There's so many creators that have wonderful crafting videos that explain crafting. That I'm gonna point you at one of those. Just type, like, go to YouTube and type Last Epoch crafting tutorial, and you'll get a full rundown. I know there's a whole bunch of really good ones out there. All right. Why are information on blessings locked behind having them show up when you pick one? Having to look up where the ones you want outside the game is a minor annoyance. You can't memorize them all. Yeah, this comes back to a little bit of the whole, like, back when I was a kid, and I don't know, that sense of like discovery, I think, a little bit that we love to have in situations like this. And you're right, because you know, it's a thing, it makes it kind of pointless. I don't have a great answer for you, but I think it's a bit of a holdover from a wanting to have a sense of discovery on something like this, and a bit of nostalgia for us, probably. Is there any plan to be able to turn? I think I should also say as well, it's a bit of, if you're at the point where you're min-maxing your blessings, you've probably already unlocked a good chunk of them, or you know, like you've done a little bit of that discovery process already as well. Maybe they should. An option might be, we're not doing this, but I think something that could conceivably be pitched is, if you have, when you unlock empowered, having all the blessings from completed timelines of normal get unlocked at base rate, so you'd see at least what's there, because there's the normal and the empowered blessings. And so if you unlock, or if you complete a timeline on empowered or something, like having all the base ones unlock or something like that, I don't know. Is there any plan to be able to turn down skill effect opacity? I'd love to. We don't have it right now, but I'd say it's on the long list of likes. It's very hard to see what's going on when spamming some skills, especially in multiplayer. That was me adding that last bit. How viable is hardcore in LE so far? Very, I would say. Has anyone beaten the end game completed in hardcore? Oh yeah. What's your predictions for hardcore completion time frame for season 2? Like Uber Abbey season 2 hardcore completion kill on the season. I'm going to say 6 days. I'm going to say someone does it in 6 days. No, that's way too little. I'm going to say someone does it in 9 days. That's better. That's the prediction. Nine days for someone to kill Uber Abby in hardcore on the season. Not solo. Solo, I think, will take a lot longer. All right, will Temporal Sanctum T4 boss get nerfed? Probably not. I think she is really punishing with almost everything one-shotting you. Not even Aberoth does that, or at least Aberoth is more mechanic focused. I think Aberoth's a lot stronger in general. But yeah, there's always room for improvements on the bosses, and I think maybe it might be just like as you say, more mechanic focus. Like maybe it just needs to be more clear on what's happening. But I think it's appropriate that completing very hard stuff gets you very good stuff, you know? All right, have you considered adding more forms for Druid? Absolutely. It's a pretty huge undertaking adding in new forms for the Druid. Those are some of the biggest skills. Spriggan form, I'd argue, is the most involved skill in the game because it's like minion abilities and transform abilities are the hardest to do, and it is a transform ability with minion abilities. All right, would there be any way of making Arena a loot explosion at the end of the waves instead of individual drops during to make it a dopamine hit and make it more fun? It used to be like that. Is it not like that now? The Arena. I don't know when that changed. Kane's saying he thinks it's still that way. So I think it might be that way? Question mark? Double check that. You can come to the Discord channel and ask the devs and ask me again if it's not like that. But I think it's like that. All right. Will there be more monster lore? Oh, yeah. As a big D3 fanboy, I kind of miss the lore around monster types. For example, the tongue eater, which lashes out their tongue into others' mouths and eating them in D3. That's gross. Yeah, adding a bestiary is something that we've long wanted to do, and I really hope we're able to. I think there's the game guide is when it was first made. It was made in the assumption that the bestiary would go with there as well, or bestiary, whatever you say it. I don't know. I always get it wrong. Mike, last time you have mentioned to me about the primordial content. May I know, is it moved to much later season or is it scrapped? I have no details on what's happening with it. The only information on future content that we have available is in the roadmap document. Nothing really gets scrapped forever. Are there plans to add more group play tools, things like buffs for party members in PoE or bots, not incentives like Magic Find? Yeah, I think we do frequently put in things that are functional, that are useful in multiplayer. It is tricky because a lot of people play solo again, and so like having too much power going to multiplayer stuff can restrict some of the content at the end. But I think it's the usual thing is that a well-oiled machine of multiplayer should be slightly more powerful than a well thought out individual build, which should be slightly more powerful or probably significantly more powerful than a haphazardly slapped together multiplayer build of multiple characters. But yeah, there's some new stuff we're adding in there that'll be sweet, especially in a new unique item that I may have mentioned earlier in the stream slightly. Currently, there are 5 conversion options for Abyssal Echo. Presumably, it fit the theme with Forge Guard and Paladins. Warpath has an autocast node for AE, but it's locked behind a node that changes Warpath to Void. And it says it invalidates the fire conversion node of Warpath. It's something addressed in Season 2. I feel like we talked about this in Ask the Devs, or someone else was asking the exact same question in Ask the Devs, and there's a gigantic answer I wrote in there recently. I don't think this is a problem to be solved, really. I think it's important that it needs to go behind one of the fire or void conversion nodes, and it fits best behind the void conversion node for sure. I think it could go a second similar node could go behind the fire conversion node, But the better solution would be to put this behind a mutually exclusive node, like a new style of node that we don't have existing yet, which would be something like, hey, this node, you can pick either A or B. So it'd be like this node, you can take the fire or void conversion. It's a single point. You have to pick which one you get, and then you can put things behind them both that are mutually exclusive. That's the way I'd want to handle something like this instead. But we don't have that tech, so we're not doing it yet. Are you guys planning on upgrading servers? Yes. Also, how is trading faction, duping, exploiting issues are going to be handled this season, since we pretty much breaks the game in the first week? Well, we haven't had any duping or exploiting things like that happen in the most recent, like the most recent ladder and bazaar were clean. There were no issues there. There was no incident. Since the last incident that happened, like a couple times ago, we have entirely new detection and reaction systems. We have new safeguards in place to make sure it won't happen again as well, that on top of the ones that we did last time. You know, there's we have new tools in place in like prevention, detection, and fixing. And you know, it's one of the most important things for us is keeping this like keeping the bazaar and the economy running smoothly is extremely important. So we're doing everything we can to make sure that stays that way. And we're going to be keeping a very close eye on everything right as things go live. As far as upgrading servers, yeah, like since 1.0 dropped, we have entirely new backend code. We have entirely new servers. Like the physical machines are completely different. Tons and tons of updates. So yeah, like this is all stuff we're working very hard on, and is extremely important. It's not super flashy, so we don't advertise this stuff quite as much in like the trailers and the videos and stuff like that. So you don't see like new detection for duping methods. You're like, who cares? Like, why is that's not something you shout from the rooftops, really? But yeah, it's all stuff we are very interested in keeping tight, and so yeah, we're working on it hard. All right, any plans to have mass shattering? Is it still one item at a time? We don't have any specific plans for mass shattering at the moment. It is still one shard at a time. Technically, we are adding it in a weird way. You're gonna be like, that doesn't count, Mike, and I'm like, yeah, you're right, it doesn't count. I would love to see it to be a little bit quicker. I'd love to see, I think where we're leaning towards right now is having a system where you can mark items as trash in your inventory and be like, this is junk, 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 junk. And then you just like shatter all junk, sell all junk, you know, have those types of buttons. So I think that's probably the most likely method, but we don't have anything planned for it at the moment specifically. Is it possible to move all respec NPCs to Echo of a World in Season 2? No. Is it safe to assume that starting Season 3, we should start to see a lot more set implemented since it's been a drought recently? Yeah, I mean, a lot more of Zero in the last, 2-3 releases? Yeah. We're gonna start assuming the set rework goes well, which I think it will go really well. I'm very confident in it. It's like the testing's going great for it. The reception is from the public has been fantastic on it. Like, I think this is gonna be a really, really great system coming out. And as long as everything with it goes smoothly enough that we can either fix the issues that do arise or just revel in the awesomeness of it, I think we'll be looking at ramping up set item development again. I've got a sticky note on my desktop sitting right, not like a physical one, but that's got just like set item ideas that I'm waiting for the green light to start posting those internally. All right. Can you do a character transfer like SSF to normal trade bonus option? You can every yes. The short answer is yes here. I'll show you what it looks like really quick. So right at the end, the last thing. Settings, challenges. If you are on a character that is specifically character found and like a solo account found, so all character found characters are also solo account found characters, and all solo account characters are also regular ones. So it's like you can abandon your character found challenge and become a solo account found character, and then you can abandon your solo account found challenge and become a normal character. So you can take those 2 steps and you can jump, but it's a one-way transfer only. If you cannot take a character and make it solo, and you cannot take a character and make it character found. So it's one way only. And yes, the lots of stuff gets, my picture is showing is hiding that stuff does get, some stuff gets deleted, some stuff doesn't. But yes, we do carry over things like your ranks, your faction ranks, those get merged, and whatever the most favorable way for them to merge is. But you do lose the a character found stash does vanish when you take a character from character found to normal. The stash goes poof. So you got to take everything you want to carry with you on your back. Put on those four layers of shirts. All right. That's going to do it for us here. Woo. Let's put this one last thing up if you missed it. There it is. Super cool. Corruption display. Ooh, I'm really happy about this. All right. I will be back with I don't know who's actually gonna be on that stream or not. Some of us will be back with Try on the 8th. So same time on Try's Twitch. Talking to Try's Twitch, not ours. We might try and restream it or something, and just to so there's more it's out there, more all sorts of stuff. I don't know what we're doing for next Friday. I assume we're skipping next Friday on the 4th. But I will double check, and some announcement will go out either way on that. I had a great stream. This was a ton of fun. Woo! We're through it. Oh, I think I'm gonna go set up a trampoline later. I hope you had fun. I know I did. I'll see you next time. Let's go say hi to someone. Here we go. Here's a familiar face. I pick familiar faces because if I pick just randoms, I get in trouble a lot because I make mistakes. But yeah, have a great time, everyone. Drink lots of water. See you later.